Hi, this is Averagejohn here, coming at you with another video of what I have read this week. And what I've read, 10 comics, that's 10, 1, 0, and yeah, I just read 10 comics this week, ranging from all the way from like Marvel, all the way to Image. A better example would just be Marvel, DC, DC to Marvel. Who cares? I read 10 of them. And this is going to be my trusty notebook, my cell phone. Yeah, I'm just going to keep rambling on. 10 comics that I've read this week before I go further into spoiling the crap out of them and stuff. Got Awake, number 0, Action Lab Comics. Catwoman, Lonely City, number 1, by DC, specifically their Black Label. Ash versus the Evil, almost the Evil Dead. No, Ash versus the Army of Darkness, number 0, this is by Dynamite. DC versus Vampires, number 1, this is made just by DC. Yes, the Black Label. Then we got The Adventures of Byron, War of the Rotisserie. It's a one-shot. This is by Scout Comics. Then we got Foodang, number 1. This is by Continuum Comics. It's Continuum with the umlaut for the on top of the U. It's Continuum, I think. But anyway, we got Sacred Fly, The Lost Pilot, number 1 by Dark Horse. We got The Walking Dead, number 1, that's by Image. We got Star Trek vs. Transformers, number 1. By IDW. And Taskmaster, number 1, by Marvel. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm trying to get a lot more number 1s. It's a lot easier to follow stories that way. I do have other numbers too that are sorted later into the pile. And you will see them. You'll see them eventually. But right now, I'm going into the spoiler zone. I'm going to spoil the crap out of the stories that I just said. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, just pause this video right here. Like this video first, then pause this video. Then go into my channel, watch other videos, like those videos, subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos. Yeah, that'd be awesome. This is me smiling. I can only half smile because my facial palsy. So I can't. Well, I can do that. But alright. Spoiler zone starts now. And so first we have Awake, number 0 by Action Lab Comics. Now I got my notes out for this. Now there's this group that seem to be dolls. They're not the fruit, by the way, not the fruit. Dolls, which are future protectors of whichever planet they are on. They're being trained on this planet called Xterra, which is a vast wasteland, is a dying planet, so it's the perfect place to go. These dolls can summon animal creatures from the core of any planet that they're on. Now they split buddies. Their hero, Rain, that's R-E-G-N, says Rain, being paired with Japin. Japin shows her how to awaken the soul of any planet. The souls can take form of any shape. Most of them are animals. This one is a dragon. Japin chants Chikato Dola of this planet. Through the atmosphere, through the mantle, we call to the core. We call to the essence of this planet. To exterior. It is time to wake. It's time to wake. Rain is destined to save a planet. Some planets. Maybe not this one, but some planet. And then there's this mysterious boy. With mysterious power. He's just running. Running from something. Running from everything. From anything. He doesn't know what to do. But this kind man feeds him and wants to shelter him. They go. The mysterious homeless man introduces himself as Sakato, but Garflecht, but eventually shortens it down a pig. The other guy's name is Che. Pig protects Che and his Uncle Howler from some twisters, and now he and Che are going to go travel the world helping others. The same world that Rain was destined to save. The world of Gremon. That's the end of Awake number 0. Now, we have Catwoman, Lonely City. Ooh. Now, it's been 10 years for her. 10 years in Blackgate. 10 years since Fool's Day. 10 years since Catwoman was blamed for the death of Batman. 10 years. Everything has changed. Harvey Dent is now the mayor. Penguin is now really high class with successful casinos. There are no masks allowed. So no vigilantes, no masked villains, none of that. But there are bad cops everywhere, which are cops that have been upgraded with bad tech since Bruce Wayne's death. It's peace. Or is it? Did Catwoman really kill Batman? Catwoman vows to find out. Not if she killed him, she didn't kill him. That's not a spoiler. That's the whole mystery. Who killed Batman? Who framed Catwoman? And we hard to do that. We hard to do that with all the types of masks being banned, like I said. She remembers one thing that Byron said. Orpheus. What does it mean? And the answer lies in the Batcave. One last time to clear her name? Yes. She's bringing Killer Croc with her. That's Catwoman, Lonely City, number 1. Next, we have Ash vs. the Army of Darkness, number 0. Now this basically recants the tale of the movies up to the end of Army of Darkness. It continues like a little bit after, well, Not a little bit after, it continues right after. So, but to shorten it, or whatever, it's about the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead, has traveled all throughout time, spreading chaos and darkness every when and everywhere. That is until Ash Williams started fighting it. He first came into contact with it in a cabin in the woods. It's when it awakens the darkness that takes his girlfriend at the time, Linda. He fights back. He fights her. He wins. That's not all. His arm does get infected and he lops it off and he has this awesome chainsaw arm. But he wins. That is until he gets sucked into a portal that transports him to the 14th century. And then darkness makes an evil clone of Ash, which he defeats, only for him to come back stronger and with an army of darkness, with undead and deadites and such. He won, spoke the magic words, and transported back to modern times. The deadites somehow followed him, possessed an old lady who was shopping at S-Mart. Ash killed her. That's where the movie ends and the story begins, because he got fired, even though he was clearly right. Apparently, that woman's name was Helen. She was a librarian at Alex Shepherd High School. Ash learns this through Joanna Wentworth, who is the vice principal of that high school. She talks to Ash about it and how the darkness can spread and cause more deadites. She wants to make sure that no one else in her school is infected. So Ash decides to go back to school for a little bit. And that's Ash vs. the Army of Darkness #0. Next we have DC vs. Vampires #1. We have a mysterious man. His name is Andrew Bennett. He's traveling the world looking for one group to grant him a message that there's a war coming. But from who? Vampires. Apparently, Mary, Queen of Blood, leader of the Cult of the Red Moon, preventing chaos between humans and vampires, is now dead. Andrew went from the Legion of Doom first, and Lex Luthor handed him a syringe, I think, holding the cure for vampirism. We don't know that yet. Alex kind of died, and Andrew, sent the syringe to Batman. Andrew goes to the Justice League, where he is met by Green Lantern and Zon. The rest of the League is off planet. Well, it turns out that the Green Lantern is working with the vampires, so that's a lie. So what happens now? And that's the end of that. The end of DC vs. Vampires #1. And next we have the Adventures of Byron, or the Rotisserie, or the Rotisseries. Byron, a monster-looking monster, and Oswald, a rabbit-looking monster, are playing with their food, and a game of chicken versus potatoes, with tons of references to Star Trek, KFC, and probably potatoes. I don't know many potato things, to be honest. But it turns out that Byron thinks Oswald is a bad friend. Oswald has flipped over game boards and losing, forgotten to pick Byron up multiple times, broke Byron's Space Hug action figure, and used Byron's money to buy other foods and pork chops and green beans. And while set to sell off, he ate more than his fair share. And he continues trade Byron's food regardless. That's it. No more friendship. It's the silent treatment. So they both split up. Both are becoming new friends. Byron looking through community creatures, which looks like eHarmony. And Oswald is looking through the Fuzzy app, which looks like Tinder. They both match with Roscoe Phantom, a big star, who asked them both to meet him at the Pepper Arena to shoot a Schmaltzy commercial. Schmaltzy is a popular energy drink in their world. They run into each other and question why they're both there. Turns out that Paxton set this whole thing up because he hated seeing Byron and Oswald split up. They're the best friends. He got Roscoe in the plan somehow. Byron and Oswald do forgive each other, go home, have a food fight that includes Roscoe and Paxton with pork chops and green beans. So everything turns up. Everything turns out well. Excuse me. My neck. There we go. Next up, we have Foodang #1 by Continuum Comics. Now, what it's about. This one random man who was a circus clown gets into a car accident with a truck who was smuggling radioactive Canadian isotopes. Now he's a superhero. But not yet. He's going to the hospital first, the Stouffville Regional Medical Center. There he stays and realizes that not only does he have superpowers, his clown nose is permanently fused to his face. The clown shoes are fused to his feet. Now he's also got a family claiming that he's their Uncle Tyler, or Uncle Bert. The Tylers claim that he is, but he doesn't remember them. Could be due to the fact that he has amnesia that he gained from his clown wig melding with his brain. But it did give him some sweet green hair. They do invite him to their house, and the doctor just lets him go. He might be highly toxic and radioactive to the touch, but what the heck, you only live once, right? Turns out that they're cannibals, but they can't kill Foodang stealthily at all. They fail the first night, so he does stay the night and plays the deadly game hide and seek with Damien, the little one. They started playing, but get distracted from noise outside the house. Noise from an alien spaceship. It's from the one and only Sigmund Fiend from the planet Drimpabaloom. He's going to rule the world. There's this superhero group that meets him though. Strike Pose Gamma. 3 members, including Saint Girl, Violet Girl with the leaves on her head, the narcoleptic Screaming Darash, who either fall asleep or beat you up, and Captain Fiber, man who protects the innocent and can use powers if he eats fiber. Now, fall pretty easily. Narco falls asleep. Fiber gets beaten up. Clancy just fails. Maybe Foodang can help. And he gives Sigmund a good punch. Sigmund runs into the UFO and tries to escape. Foodang is hanging on the side of the ship, causing it to crash, causing a lot of damage in the process. In fact, this powerful agent, Ethel E. Rex, wants to recruit him and give him a sidekick. Also, Damien drags Narco to the cellar for stew. But, just in case you missed it, the family that adopts Foodang are cannibals. Totally like cannibal. Totally. That was Foodang #1. Now, next up, we have She Could Fly, The Lost Pilot, #1 by Dark Horse. I forgot to, just realizing it, I forgot to mention the years that these all were made. So, I will tell you right now. Awake, #0 was made in 2016. And Catwoman Lonely City was made in 2021. Ash vs. the Army of Darkness was made in 2017. DC vs. Vampires was made in 2021. And The Adventures of Byron War of the Rotisserie was made in 2021. Foodang #1 was made in 1994. And then She Could Fly, right here, was made in 2019. So the story is there's this girl named Luna who's mentally ill. Maybe she has multiple personalities. She's in a mental institution. She keeps getting in-school suspension for things like stapling a girl's mouth shut because she had braces and such. Another one of her personalities, Mayura, who is being treated for something that needs Roboxetone, and who is being treated for something that needs Roboxetone, and she lives in Grasshopper, Illinois. There's a deal going on in Russia. That's in Russia. There's a deal being made to not put a bomb on a plane. The deal goes wrong, terribly wrong. And that's the end of She Could Fly, Lost Pilot. And next up, we have The Walking Dead #1 by Image. This one was made in 2017. And this one basically explains the intro of The Walking Dead. The same intro has the show. Very popular show. There was a prison break in Grand County Prison. 2 cops arrived. One got shot. The one that got shot is Rick Grimes. He is immediately rushed to the hospital. He was in a coma when he wakes up in an empty room. Empty hospital, empty world. What's happened? Everyone is dead but living. How? No time to ponder that question. Time to run. Rick gets out and runs back home, where he runs into Morgan Jones and Lil Dwayne. Lil Dwayne hits him over the head with a baseball bat, I think. It's either that or a shovel. But Rick comes to and starts to get an explanation of why the world has gone to hell. And those creatures are not zombies, but they are walkers. When he learns that everyone's headed for the big cities, he sets his mind on Atlanta, Georgia. So he gathers some guns and a car for himself and his new friend, starts heading on his way. Maybe that's where his wife has gone. His wife and kid have gone. But that was The Walking Dead #1, made in 2017 by Image. Now we have Star Trek vs. Transformers by IDW. Excuse me. This one was made in 2018. So I got Captain James D. Kirk, Stardate 5892.7. They're checking out a planet called Cygnus 7. A stress call came from the mines here. It could be danger afoot because it's so close to the Klingon border. I'm gonna go check this out. Turns out the danger is not from the Klingons, but the Autobots and Decepticons are having a war there. And the Enterprise is caught in the middle of it. On the Enterprise, consisting of Kirk, Spock, and Sulu right now, run into and stun Optimus Prime while the Decepticons retreat. They try to wake Optimus up, so they beam Scotty and Bones down there with them. They also get a signal indicating that there might be more Autobots in the mine, so they split up. The Decepticons, Megatron, Starscream, and Soundwave, run into some Klingons keeping guard of the borders who hate the Enterprise, so they team up. Commander Curry and the Klingons, the Decepticons, versus the Enterprise and the Autobots. And it turns out there were more Autobots in the mine as well. So that's where that ends. Star Trek versus the Transformers, #1 by IDW in 2018. And last, but certainly not least, we have Taskmaster, #1 by Marvel. This one was made in 2020. Now, the old Taskmaster, or I call him Tasky, wants to rule the world, as always. And the easiest way to do that is win the 4th annual Mac US Celebrity Doubles Charity Golf Tournament. Looks like Tasky ain't the only villain there. Bullseye's there too. In fact, Tasky taunts Bold. And he's just like, maybe you should go back to killing Daredevil's girlfriends and leave this to the pros. Tasky goes a little further in the tournament before unleashing a lot of golf balls on people. But then, then others start shooting with actual guns. So he hijacks a golf cart, unleashes his inner Ghost Rider, and speeds away. Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 somehow comes on. Oh, wait, actually, that's his cell phone. It's Nick Fury. He says to meet him in the Southwest Access Road. The Tasky gets there, and Nick tells him that Maria Hill's been murdered, and Tasky has been framed. And Black Widow is coming for him. Now he has to clear his name and evade the Black Widow, evade Natasha Romanoff, and all that. So, that was Taskmaster #1 by Marvel, made in 2020. And that was the last but not least. So that was a fun bunch of comics. Which one am I gonna stick with? I think I'm gonna always stick with Catwoman Lonely City, to be honest. That one looks like the most fun. Of course I wanna try to stick with the Adventures of Byron. Because it just the whole series just has made me laugh. The most interesting one, I think, to me was Foodang, because I had never heard of it. I've never seen it. I read it and I loved it. But these are the stories that I think we're going to continue with. Catwoman, Lonely City, definitely. But what was your favorite of the stories? Which one would you want to continue with? Comment down below. Now, the spoiler section ended. Comment down below. Or you can reach me on any of my socials, at Instagram at TRIPL3XXX Mayhem. my Facebook at official Averagejohn, my Twitter at real Averagejohn. Like I always say, don't worry, you can't understand me, because everything's in the description down below. But yeah, what was your favorite out of the 10? Let me know, and I will see you all later.